right. All right.
What's going on?
All right.
Yes.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Fired Up.
Fired up.
We've been gone for 2 months now, about 2 months. Things are hectic out there, and you know it's rough, man. So,
Life itself.
Life itself is actually rough. So, we actually got 1,000 subscribers, as a matter of fact. So I want to thank everybody for that. Make sure you hit the like button. Let's actually get this show to actually grow here.
That's right.
All right, so Berick, take us off, baby. What do you want to get into first, man?
Well, I want to touch base on a few things basketball-wise. We got to catch up with that, but more importantly, I want to get into the Melo thing. I think that's very important right now, against the whole Carmelo thing. Carmelo right now is doing really good in regards to handling some of this public negativity right now. So, with that being said, he has a perception right now that not being a team obliterated, but we're talking about a team that, would love to have him. But there's speculation that he may not want to come off the bench, or he doesn't want to come off the bench, or he prefers to start. No, he's beyond that. He just wants to be on the team and help him win. But our biggest problem right now in trying to understand the situation is that, first of all, Portland wanted to bring him in, and now all of a sudden, Portland doesn't want to bring him in because of this perception. That's what I want to talk to you about, man. This big perception about Carmelo Anthony not being a team player, and obviously, coming in there and saying.
So there is actually evidence of that, of him not being a team player, and
I'm a Filipino. I'm a Arvin.
yeah, he's not gonna stay in the room, man. Sucks.
We have a guest appearance today. All right, we have a guest appearance today. I think it's going to be very interesting today. So, he loves sports, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so getting back to what I was saying about Melo, he showed evidence of him not being a team player with the Jeremy Lin situation when they were actually.
Okay, Arvin.
Christopher, come on, man. You got what you want here. I think he wants me to turn the volume up. Say, turn the volume up. Yeah.
He has to turn the volume up.
That's it. You can hear it, because Berick and I are trying to talk.
And he keeps turning it off. That's the problem.
No, I think I put the volume low so it doesn't interfere with us.
Okay.
All right. Before my son rudely interrupted me, he says it's unorthodox
Yeah, listen, these things happen.
style of video over here.
We're different than most people. Well, yeah, the Carmelo Anthony thing, again, you went back to Jeremy Lin era. Well, that's probably where it started, but it probably started back in Denver. In Denver, you had Allen Iverson was a member of that ball club, remember? Chauncey Billups was a member of that ball club, and these guys had nothing but good. Listen, Carmelo's got a lot of good friends within the NBA, a lot of good friends in the NBA and in the media. It's the executives we're not finding too many people siding for Carmelo. So if you got people that's within the league that you teamed up with, people that you dealt with in the media, why are you not having that collusion, so to speak, a friendly collusion with the people who are now considered themselves executives? Well, I'll tell you why. Because somebody will say something profound about Carmelo Anthony, and somebody will say something majorly negative. And that negativity seems to have grown. Why? Because when he was in New York, he didn't want to give in to the Jeremy Lin or the Lin Sandy situation. He didn't want to give into it. He didn't like the fact that Jeremy Lin was getting a lot of attention. So that was the beginning of what we can say was a widespread concept with Carmelo Anthony not being a team player. But as time moved on, he moved on. Of course, the Knicks decided to trade him out, and he went to OKC, and then it didn't work in OKC. Why? Because then the speculation in OKC was, we may need you to go back to the bench. I'm not playing on the bench. I'm not playing on the bench at all. So the perception grows. And he goes to Houston, and he doesn't play well in Houston at all. And it was the same thing going on in Houston. Now he can't find a home. But you see, that's the problem. The problem is what the media produces and what we are supposed to, as sports fans or people like Rashid and I, who come out there and try to tell our opinion about what we see and try to show you a different formula. There is an in-between between the executives and everybody out there that sides for Carmelo Anthony. What say you?
Well, no, I don't, they're saying he's being blackballed. I don't necessarily agree with that. He's not a very good catch and shoot 3-point shooter. It's just his whole style of play. He holds on he holds on to the ball too long. And if you look at the shot clock is not your friend; it's your enemy. So think about it. I mean, somebody has to bring the ball up. The point guard has to bring the ball up. He actually has to receive the basketball. So between, let's say, 94 feet to like half court is 6 to 7 seconds off the shot clock already. He gets the ball. He holds it. Now you're down to like maybe 12 or 13 seconds on the shot clock. If they blitz him, he has to release the basketball, and by the time somebody else gets to, actually have a high percentage shot with the basketball, it's about 6 to 7 seconds to work within the shot clock. So I just think his whole style of play, and I think it's situationally. He needs the right fit. He needs shooters around him. So if there's no shooters around him, then I don't think it's really going to work, though.
The unfortunate part of Carmelo, though, is that he is not going to be around him is what he can add to another team. And furthermore, he is a straight-up player. He's a one-on-one isolation player who doesn't have the ability to beat anybody off the dribble. And even when he was in his prime, he really couldn't beat too many people off the dribble. He's got to stop and pull, straight-up jump shot type of thing. Come off of curls.
Yeah.
That was Carmelo's game. But Carmelo would drop 50-something points here and there once in a blue moon, especially in Denver. He was the focal point in Denver. In Denver, he was like the top 3 probably in the league for 3 years in a row, averaging 27.5 points a game. This is the same Carmelo Anthony saying that can't ball now. He hasn't changed his game much. He really hasn't.
The thing is that I think it's on terms of defense. He's going to give up a lot of. He's going to give up a lot of points on defense, and I just don't think that he's going to give you enough offense to actually produce on what he gives up. So let's say if he's playing on the perimeter, he gets burned. He gets switched on to like a point guard. Let's say a Kemba Walker, a Kyrie Irving. He gets switched on to them. Then
he has height and length, but if he doesn't have the ability to move laterally, that's
the thing. And can he actually, if he gives up, he gets burnt on the drive, can he actually give up, let's say he can give you back a 3-pointer. Let's say if he can shoot 43% from 3, and it would be the same thing with Kevin Love. Kevin Love is actually slow-footed, but he can actually, he can shoot 40% from 3-pointers.
I think right now you got to look at Carmelo's situation beyond the game of basketball. And that's why, we're really bringing this up right now because blackball is not what's happening with Carmelo. Same thing you would say with Kaepernick in football. Hey, he's blackball. No, because some teams offered him an opportunity to get on the team and he turned it down because he wouldn't stop doing what he was doing. Carmelo is a little situation different. He's not being blackballed. All right, there has been a team out there that has thrown their hat in the middle of the ring and said, listen, we'd like to bring him in. I'm not going to reveal that team right now because, quite frankly, as soon as they put their hat in there, they pulled it back out. Well, you know what? Screw it. I'll do it. It's Portland Trailblazers. All right? Portland Trailblazers decided we're going to see if we can bring him in. They brought him over there. He didn't go in there for an interview. He just went over there. He spoke to Damian Lillard, and they're good friends, by the way, another player in the league that he's cool with. And it just didn't seem to match. Now we have these things out there where his representatives now are trying to clean up the perception that he's not a team player. All right? That's what they're focused on now. We're going to try to clean up his image and see if the cleaned up image can get him on another basketball team.
So you still think he has too much ego? In your opinion, you think he has too much ego?
You know what? First and foremost, I don't know the man personally. Again, we got to go back and sit there and say, well, what are we going on? What we seen? All right? Or what we think we know for sure to be fact. If we go by what we know to be fact, all right, then we have a good perception that he may have an ego problem. I think at this moment, he doesn't. Maybe 5-6 years ago, there was an issue. I know it was an issue in OKC. It was clear as evident. He didn't want to come.
Well, ego, in this sense, I think yes, because he still thinks he's still the player that he actually still was, and he's not.
But he's right to think that way. If he's still able to
I watched him in the last couple of years in OKC in Houston, and he was abysmal. I mean, abysmal.
He missed shots he was supposed to make.
Yeah, he wasn't hitting mid-range shots.
And defense was not there.
Defense is not there.
But you knew that when you get Carmelo. You're asking Carmelo to drop 20 points a game for you. And the shots are there. He got good looks, and the shots weren't falling. You know why they weren't falling? He didn't have that much hop in his jump shot.
And he lift practically.
Practically, yeah. I'm old school. I call it hops. You want to call it lift, we call it lift. But the bottom line is this. Key to a jump shooter is that the elbows got to be tucked, them fingers got to be spread, and you got to get a little lift in the legs. All right? And Carmelo wasn't getting any of that going on. His form was a little bit off. Nothing against him, but you know what? If you're working him on defense, which if I'm opposing coach, let's run Carmelo through some screens. Let's tire his out, because when he comes on the other side, the offensive side, he can't give you much. So there's a lot of things to look at in this Carmelo situation. So right now, to answer his question directly, no, right this moment, no, I don't think it's an ego problem. He wants to get back on the team.
All right,
he
so
wants to play ball.
what do you actually? What team do you actually think he fits on right now? So you have Joe Johnson out there.
Let him go to Brooklyn. Let him go to Brooklyn.
I don't think he fits Kenny Atkinson's style of play. Basically,
I don't know who he fits right now. He could go to Philly. They may need a spot-up shooter because that's
he's not. Well, he wasn't a great spot-up shooter.
He's going to be that now, brother, because he can't beat nobody off the dribble right now. Sorry,
well, you just said that he doesn't have the lift in his legs to even.
That's why I say spot-up. Yeah, somebody's got to give him enough of a look at the basket so he can get a decent jump shot. In OKC,
I like the Philadelphia idea.
So Philly should not be a bad idea. Oh, what about Milwaukee? They could use another shooter. They're on a championship run. Oh, Carmelo said he wants to go to a contender. So, he's a contenders. He's a contenders in the Eastern Conference. I noticed one thing. There's no Western Conference team out there outside of Portland that went after him. Okay?
Well, even the Lakers, right? That's supposed to be LeBron's boy.
That's the next thing I was going to say. Thank you for taking that out of my mouth. LeBron, that's your boy. That's your man. What's happening? That's your man. This is the guy that you wanted to bring to Cleveland. Remember when you went to Cleveland the second time? I'm going to bring Carmelo with me. Well, you got a chance to bring him now. A man sitting home, chilling, relaxing, trying to figure out how you're going to fix his image. And you sitting in LA, you need more scores than anything. So
no, they don't need scorers. They need shooters.
Listen, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna touch on the Lakers in a couple of minutes. We're gonna get on this Lakers, man, because I actually have serious doubt about that team. But
but we'll go for that.
Getting back to Melo here, what do you actually do? So the fit, between Melo and let's say Joe Johnson, two veterans, who would you actually take, and let's say where the fit should actually be at between both of them?
Who, between Melo and Joe Johnson?
Yeah, who do you actually think like between Melo and Joe Johnson? Who would you take?
I got to see Joe Johnson now.
Well, we've seen him in the big three.
Big three, 3-on-3. All right, 3-on-3 half court. That's what we've seen.
3-on-3 is different than full court.
That's correct. That's correct.
Not running up and down.
Not running down the floor, going through screens, bodying people up. So it's a different thing. But he's getting worked out though, because I think you've seen enough in his ability to get open, get that lift, and hit some shots. His defense not too bad either for a guy his age. So let's just look at that. He would be a good fit. Would he be a good fit in Brooklyn? Yeah, he probably would. But I don't think he's gonna get that many minutes.
I think more towards the playoffs, because in the playoffs it starts turning into like a half-court game.
Listen, the season has started, so
no. I mean, I just think between Melo and Joe Johnson. Mm-hmm. At the playoffs, I think they would actually really function because they're both half-court players. They're not up and down, running the floor. So they're both, their styles are actually fitted more for the playoffs.
You bring them in for two things, okay? And I hate to say this about guys when they get to this level of their career, but this is true. You bring a guy in because he still has something left in the tank. That's number one. That's the number one reason you bring him. That's why they're working him out, to see what he's got left. Number two, and this is the big two, man has experience and leadership abilities. He can get in that locker room and straighten dudes out when things got out of hand. That's why you bring a seasoned veteran in like Joe Johnson. So if this is what Brooklyn's going to do it. All right, the man will probably give you 10%.
So practically, what you're saying is, in terms of locker room presence, you would take Joe Johnson over Carmelo Anthony.
At this, of course. No, I'm not dissing Carmelo. Okay, this man trying to set me up for that. I'm not dissing Carmelo. What I am saying is right now, Joe Johnson is the better of the two in regards to locker room presence. But I'm sure Carmelo's working on his game. I hope he is. I know Joe is working on his game. You know, so if I was an executive,
he looks like classic old Johnson that was leading Atlanta to 50-win seasons.
I don't know about that.
I mean, that's sort of, like I said, that's a 3-on-3 game.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different. I heard there's rumors of them actually using the big three as a farm system in a sense, though.
I heard the same thing.
So what do you actually think about that, though? You think that's
I think first you got to give Ice Cube a lot of credit. My man's a genius. That's number one. Number two, if they do that, that definitely will help. But you already have other farm systems now, too. I mean, you have the D League and all that, and it helps. It helps tremendously.
G League now.
Now it's a G League, right?
Yeah.
So now it helps tremendously. So now you have to look at that and say, all right, another farm system. Because baseball has two different farms. They got AA and AAA. So why not basketball? I have no problem with that.
All right, now this is old news. We've been off the camera for a couple of months, but the whole Kawhi situation and him spurning the Lakers. I know it's old news, but this is an opinion-based show, and we have to actually. We're not going to ramble on with it too much because it is old. But Kawhi actually turning down the Lakers and Toronto. Your thoughts on that?
I can understand Toronto. He wanted to go home. First and foremost, he wanted to go home. All right, there's nothing wrong in Toronto. Let's make it very clear. Let me make it very clear. There was nothing wrong in Toronto. Not one thing. He loved the GM. He loved the team. Loved the coach. He loved that whole atmosphere. We're the North. He was riding the whole thing. However, he's not a Canadian guy. He's a Californian. He wanted to go home. So he knew that from jump. Now it was a matter of finding the right deal. If there was a good deal out there. All right. Secondly, as far as the Lakers are concerned, let's just make it very clear. He has no problem with LeBron and them, but he would have been a third wheel on a very good team. That's not Kawhi.
I'm gonna disagree with you on a good team.
Well, listen, Kawhi wanted to go somewhere where
But finish your point.
Right, he wanted to go somewhere. So where else are you going to go? You're going to California, but you want to be the focal point where you're going. So who are you going to be? It's going to be the Clippers. It's not going to be the Lakers. And we're talking about perception. We all know LeBron has to have it his way, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so why would he go there? The money was there, absolutely. Is the structuring good over there in LA? Oh, they're trying to reshape that too because they were having their problems. Magic Johnson's still in the fold, by the way. And Magic might have had a lot to do with whether Kawhi went there or not. Okay, we could touch on that. But the bottom line is he wanted to have his own thing going. And on the side, he was talking to Paul George. All right? Because he needed a sidekick to go up there with that team that went 50 games with no superstar. Now you got two legitimate players on that team. So this is what Kawhi's thinking was. And everything worked out well for him. So, listen, I have no problem with him spurring the Lakers. He knew what he wanted to do. He talked to his representatives. They did a great job in putting him in the best position to negotiate. My man went back to California. He's home.
Yeah, and I think it was a very methodical decision in terms of he had to really, really think this through. Now, let's say with Toronto, if he actually went back there, can they actually duplicate what they did in the finals last year? You know, they barely won against Golden State. Now we know if Klay Thompson was actually healthy and Kevin Durant was actually healthy, they were going to actually they would actually lost that series. Mm-hmm. So I think he understands that, even though they can actually pay him the most money. But the Lakers, if he goes to the Lakers, you know, I think it's a good team. But again, it would be like the Miami Heat situation where it would be the big three and you have old washed up veterans having to come and we've seen Kawhi had to take, he took about 22 games off through the load management. I think with the Lakers, he can't do that. He can't. And we don't know Anthony Davis. We don't know if he's actually even committed because you touched up on something about a month and a half ago. He's a rental.
Yeah, Anthony Davis on a 1-year deal right now. Let's make no mistake about it. It
And
was a trade.
he threw Chicago out there,
Yeah.
and talking about
Yep.
going there, and the Knicks was actually still on his list.
Yeah.
And
the Knicks will have the money available next year.
yes,
So-
yeah. And I think their front office situation, besides not their ownership, but I
Not
think
the
their
ownership, yeah.
their front office is actually much better than the Lakers right now.
Mm-hmm.
And but again, if he goes to the Lakers, it's gonna be like the Miami Heat, where you have to have old, washed-up veterans on minimums, and Kawhi Leonard would have to be heavily relied upon. The Clippers, they won 50-something games last year.
Led by Lou Williams, who comes off the bench, by the way.
And let's not forget, the West got even better this year.
So he wasn't worrying about the Western Conference. He was worrying about going home and being in the best situation. And so you touch the base with the Lakers, you got to look at one thing. LeBron's going to retire soon.
Absolutely.
He's got other things working off the field, off the court, big time.
Yeah, I don't think his head
So,
is fully committed though, with all these projects and side projects.
That's right. That's why he
I
went.
think Kawhi is smart. I think he's looking at that.
Yeah,
And,
play a game of chess.
They
like
don't
checkers.
have a point guard. Rondo is your backup. He's like really.
I'm gonna let you do some talking soon. All right. Yeah.
LeBron is really their full-time point guard, and if he goes down, with any kind of injuries, I think the Lakers currently, as constructed, are in serious trouble.
Well, they're gonna need Rondo to
They
run that
should have
offense.
kept Lonzo Ball, in my opinion, but that was a huge mistake, in my opinion, because you need somebody that can actually handle the basketball and can shoot. Lonzo is a better three-point shooter than Rondo is.
Yes.
So what the hell the Lakers were thinking by getting rid of him? I mean, I don't know. But again, the Clippers are definitely the best. The front office is much better. All right, Team USA basketball. You been watching any of it?
Been watching some of it, yeah. Trying to catch up to all of it. It's hard. It's hard sometimes when you got other schedules.
All right, so I see Zion. So I don't think he'll win. I don't think he's going to win the Rookie of the Year. We'll see. It depends on health and like what's his name? David Griffin actually said it's Drew Holiday's team. Really, it's not Zion's team per se.
That you understand that the Smoothie King Arena, you gotta change that name. The Smoothie King Arena.
Hey, listen, they're the ones
Yo,
that's
when we get back-
sponsoring the actual.
When we get back to the Smoothie King Arena, we're gonna put a whooping on you. No, that don't sound right. Listen, the people will show up there. That's a party in town. They love the Saints down there. Saints are big time in New
They're
Orleans.
gonna love some Zion. I think football
But-
might be taking a step back. this year.
No.
If Zion gets
No,
off to a great
no.
start, even the preseason, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The Saints have been in New Orleans for 4.5 decades. It'd be hard for one man to come over and overtake a town unless that town gets taken by a player who can help deliver a championship.
Oh, it has been the sales, the jersey sales, the shoe deal. Zion
Yeah.
is really hot. It's a hot commodity.
He's a
right
hot commodity.
there. Yes.
But is he a hot commodity over Drew Brees?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Drew Brees runs that town.
All right.
Drew Brees won a Super Bowl there.
Not for long, brother. Not for long.
Maybe not for long, but right now, Drew's still running that town. But guess what? Drew will be more than willing to let you sit at his table. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So go there. Just don't try to be more than a team. Be the team. And I think you'll be up there for possible ESPY award. You'll probably be up there for possible Rookie of the Year. Just try to find ways to learn how to survive each game and survive an 82-game season. And then you'll start to find out what it is to be a pro. I'm sure, listen, he's a very smart kid. He's got a good upbringing. He's got good representatives around him. Listen, I think he'll be all right.
All right. Speaking of football, Andrew Luck retiring.
Andrew Luck retiring. I'm going to tell you something. I feel you, brother. And he's not going to be the last person to retire at an early age. It's a brutal game, but the problem with Andrew Luck is he had a lot of injuries that was not healing properly. He wasn't feeling good. All right.
Andrew Luck was a quarterback. It wasn't
Yes.
a quarterback, right? He's a quarterback.
Yeah.
Aren't they? Doesn't the NFL actually put more rules in terms of protecting the quarterbacks? You can't really touch them, just like today's.
No,
NBA.
you can touch them. You just cannot interrupt them in the Basically, what happens when a quarterback throws the ball, you have to allow him to go through the motion, and you're still allowed to hit him at that moment in time. You just can't hit him after the ball's gone. When the ball is gone, you can't just lay him out. But
Now, was he a pocket quarterback or was he?
yeah, he had good running skills.
Okay.
He had good running skills.
So that shows you right now, man. Running the football is just
Well, no, I mean,
Same with Tom Brady. Stay in the pocket.
That wasn't Andrew Luck's problem. Andrew Luck's problem, he didn't have a good offensive line.
Okay.
All right. He had to run for his life. He had to throw the ball and stand in the pocket and take the hit when he was throwing the ball. And he had a bad shoulder issue. He missed the whole season, and he came back and he had a leg issue. So he wasn't recovering properly. He got tired of the pain, and the man said, "Oh, I'm done." And I respect him for that. I always tell people, listen to your body. Your body talks to you a lot more than you think. If you're not feeling good, right, you go to work.
Right?
That's right. You come to work. That's it, right?
Because you're not going to be as productive.
That's right. So I think Andrew Luck, in a sense, kind of came to that concept, and he said, "Listen, I think I'm going to go and retire." Now, can he come back? Yeah, of course. Andrew Luck retired, but I want to make sure I make myself very clear. He has not submitted his retirement papers to the NFL offices. That finalizes your retirement. Until a player does that,
Okay.
he's not retired.
Now, my surprise question for you today. Now, this is something that Berick and I has not prepped on. And,
Why am I dark?
yeah, those cameras, I don't know why is it so dark. And
Why am I dark? I'm black enough. You know what I'm saying? I twist them around a little bit more. You know? All right. I know I'm not black. Okay, what's your surprise question?
Giants are on a nice little. I know it's preseason, but this is something you and I had debated before. On I think it was episode 5 or 6 of the show. But the Giants are on a nice little winning streak in the preseason, and I think there's a correlation with Odell Beckham's exit, the culture, the locker rooms. Now, you said I was predictable. Did you actually see that question coming?
Odell is gone. Listen, first of all, my colleague over here is trying to throw jabs at the Giants handling of Odell Beckam. Odell Beckam is gone because Odell Beckam was talking about the quarterback. And he was talking about the fact the quarterback can't throw the ball out there no more. Listen, Eli he's revered in the Mara family. Mara's the guys that own the Giants. They've been owning the Giants since 1925. He's been revered. Eli won you 2 Super Bowls. I know he hasn't been the greatest quarterback. He hasn't had a great line either. But Odell is going because Odell did too much of this. Same thing with Antonio Brown. He was the best receiver in the league. He probably still is in a sense. But he was doing too much talking, and he talked about the quarterback. And that quarterback in Pittsburgh is revered. Owned by another family, the Rooneys, who've owned the Steelers since the back in the 1920s. You see the correlation here? 2 talkers in organizations ran by families from decade to decade.
But listen, you were arguing with me about his locker room presence, and I was saying yes, it is a distraction. You said it wasn't a distraction.
I said,
and do you see the correlation now?
Well,
Odell gone, winning.
Listen,
is that that's a coincidence there?
See, the locker room presence is one thing. He had a lot of support in the locker room, just like your man Carmelo. But the bottom line is, when you come out there, you with Lil Wayne on a TV show answering questions, and you start talking about the play calling. Don't mention names. I can't get the ball down the field, but we know who you're talking about. After he did that show, do you know that show was aired and recorded after the Giants gave him $93 million? Oh, yeah. After Odell got his money. So, why the Giants ship a man out who they paid him to leave town? They paid him to leave town. Because now they're talking about, oh, yeah, the culture of the locker room was good. There's no more talking going on. They want to do addition by subtraction. Odell's in Cleveland. They sent him to a city he can't do a darn thing about. And Odell kept talking about the Giants. Why? Because he's mad he's in Cleveland. Instead of focusing where you are, focus on what the team is right now. You're the Cleveland Brown now. I know it's nothing to do in Cleveland. My apologies to all the Cleveland people there. But outside of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, what the hell am I going to be doing out there? All right? Not much.
I think that's what he probably needs. Just a nice, quiet place.
But he don't want
no
that.
distractions.
He
no
don't want
clubs,
that.
really.
He don't want that.
nice cold. Cleveland's actually colder than New York City.
The stadium plays over Lake Erie.
Yes.
The stadium's right next to Lake Erie. Okay? You know you're going to be freaking your tuckers off. Listen, the man wanted to go to L.A. I don't know, people remember the rumors that when the first came up that the Giants were thinking about it, he wanted to go to L.A. Rams. You know, the team that was just in the Super Bowl last year competing against the Patriots? Now, he went to L.A. You know what was going to happen to L.A., right? You think the Giants were going to send him to a conference team, to a city where he could do more damage and talk more?
Oh, so you actually concur?
Giants said, no, we're going to send him somewhere else. In exchange, Giants got another little offensive lineman, another defensive player. So it was addition by subtraction. So, listen, at the end of the day, I love Odell Beckam Jr. I'm going to be rooting for him individually. But if he's going to be more of a distraction and he's not helping the quarterback be the quarterback, then you know what? Then you're going to have to sit down and say, you know what, we may have to part ways. It takes an organization to do that.
Well,
Organization.
they have Cleveland actually would probably winning the Super Bowl.
Man, they're the hottest team. They looking
You
real
know,
good on paper.
first year coach.
Right. They look good on paper. Paper. They look good on paper. I'm not dissing them. They look good on paper. But you got to get all those attitudes. Baker Mayfield, he got a little attitude.
Practically. Eagles,
That's right.
Yeah.
You got to get all Baker Mayfield. He got a little attitude. What do you call it, ego? I call it. I'll tell you what I call it. Attitude.
Ego.
Well, hey, listen. The man, you ask the man a question.
Listen, you don't get to the NFL or NBA by having a nice, soft demeanor.
Yeah, but listen, these are guys on the team you ask questions to. They give you more than the answer they're supposed to give you. That's not an ego. That's too much attitude right there, bro.
Okay, all right.
All right? You got all that on your team. So we're going to see the Cleveland Browns gel. I'm rooting for them. Cleveland Brown fans haven't seen, you think the Knicks fans have been struggling. Cleveland Brown fans haven't seen a Super Bowl since Jim Brown retired. He retired in the 60s. Them Brown fans
Yeah, I was
looking
going to
for,
say that's like over 40-something years now, right?
they're looking for something. Right now, they love the fact this team look good. I don't know if they're going to do good this year at all. But they love it. These Cleveland Brown fans haven't felt this fired up. No pun against the name of our show. Okay? They haven't been this fired up in a long time. Yeah, I know the Cavaliers won that championship a few years ago. That city was buzzing. But the Browns? Ooh, they got a chance to do something? All right.
Let me one more topic before we end this show. I wanted to switch gears back into the NBA. The James Harden and Russell Westbrook pairing.
How are they going to pair? How are they going to get along this year?
Well, I don't know about get along. I think they could be great friends, off the court, but it's about fit. So what do you actually...
Two guys that dominate the basketball. That's all you got to talk about. You got a guy that likes to dominate the basketball, OKC, who's been used to doing it. Let me give you a little bit of analogy. Let's just say, for example, I'm a married man with kids, but let's just say, for example, I've been single for a very long time. I had my own place, right? I had my own place, no kids, no nothing. And about maybe 15 years later, I meet somebody. Now I'm going to get hooked up with them, and we're going to start to make this a bond and become a team and things of that nature. But that person brings a certain parameter to the table I'm not used to dealing with. And now I have to find a way to adjust to that.
Well, the argument is whose team it is. And I never believed in that. I just look at, to me, who has the better matchup, or if there's a certain player with limitations like Westbrook and he can't shoot, then you have to really, you can't run your offense through James Harden and expect Russell Westbrook to sit there and knock down, be a catch and shoot three-point shooter.
Right now we're assuming
James Harden does have that ability to actually be a good catch and shoot three-point shooter. But then again, I don't know. It's a catch-22 situation because James Harden with the basketball in his hands is actually better at handling it and making decisions.
These two players are used to playing different ways. That's what I was trying to get at. They're used to playing two different ways. Now they're going to have to find a way to play together. That's what I'm saying. Can they do that? Well, we're going to find out. I would love to give you a definitive answer. I just don't know. No one does. It's an intriguing concept.
Yeah, I think they got to, do you think Clint Capella, he's still on the team? Is he still there?
Yeah.
He has to be able to shoot three-pointers. He needs to provide a lot of spacing.
I think Clint's game is not outside. Clint's game is inside.
Yeah, and he needs to be. He needs to have some type of outside shot.
Clint is one of the best shot blockers in the league. So offensively, I don't know how they're going to work in Clint, but he's going to have to do a lot of high screen pick and rolls. he's going to have to empty up the paint a little bit for Russell and
Well,
James
if he
to work.
does, even if he does a lot of high screens, his man is not going to come up to challenge him. His man is still going to sag back in the paint.
You can't sag in the paint because you get 3-second violation.
Yeah.
So you can't sag.
Yeah, you can't sag, but his man that's guarding Clint Capella is not going to come up to the 3-point line and challenge him.
Well, Clint is not an outside jump shooter.
Yeah. But you have like a Kevin Love on that team who can actually set the high screen.
Well, that's the thing.
That would actually, pull Kevin's Love man outside the paint and actually be able to open it up for Westbrook. But Westbrook has to just read the defense. If he sees a particular matchup, just hold on.
That's Russell's game. That's not Russell's game. Russell will see a one-on-one matchup. He can beat it.
No, but you got to look at where the help's coming from,
he's
too.
He's not looking at that. That's been Russell's problem. He's not looking at where the help is coming from.
Exactly.
He could beat his guy on a dribble, but when that guy comes off his man, he's got to read that and dish off. And Harden's got to do the same thing this year too. Both these guys.
Well, Harden's good at that. He's actually good at making, reading the defense.
They're going to have to feed off each other this year.
Yeah.
For that team to be successful.
So who the offense goes to?
Well, I think it has to go to Harden. It's his team. No, don't me, because at the end of the day.
But between Harden and Eric Gordon are their two best catching 3-point shooters on the team.
Okay, but listen, I think right now, and I'm gonna repeat. I don't like to regurgitate a lot of things other people say, but you cannot win in D'Antoni's offense. You will not win a chip in Mike D'Antoni's offense. You will score points in that offense. You will win games in that offense, but you will not win a chip in that offense. You couldn't do it with Steve Nash. You couldn't do it in New York, obviously.
Well, I think it's his rotations. He has like a 7 to 8 man rotation. He doesn't go 9, 10 deep.
Yeah, but you just can't. You cannot do it.
Okay.
You can win games. Like I said, D'Antoni's system, I tell you right now, on average, the man's going to get you 50 wins. On average. But let me know if D'Antoni's won a chip. I'm sorry, let me know if D'Antoni's got to the finals. Okay? You got to find a way to get these two high-scoring players to coincide and see if this team can win. Yeah, they're going to win their 50 games. Houston's going to win 50. I'll put that on here right now on the show. They'll win 50. Are they getting to the second round? Or are they getting to the conference finals? Or are they going to the finals? My answer is no. But I think the question we're talking about, can these two guys...
They actually have to get more shooters on that team.
Yeah. But,
all right, we're going to wrap this show up here. Subscribe if this is your first time actually seeing the show. Like, so we can actually grow this channel. And we're sorry about the little guy running around. There was some situations with his.
I'm not. I think he was very. I think it's very hilarious that he was here. He wants to get on this show.